Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Glad to be here.
Today we're going to be looking at something that I think is really, really fascinating. And it kind of gets overshadowed a lot of the time when we're talking about AI,
Yeah.
which is this idea of collaboration and how important that is for really moving the entire field forward. And,
Right.
as opposed to this idea of competition, which
Oh,
we hear a lot about, especially
mhm.
between nations.
Absolutely. Yeah. Seems like all the headlines these days are focused on, who's ahead in the AI race. Is it the US or is it China?
Right, exactly.
But the reality is that, some of the most significant advancements in AI have come from shared knowledge and collaboration
Exactly.
between researchers and developers all over the world.
And we have two sources that we're going to be looking at today that really highlight that.
Okay.
One is an excerpt from a document that really pushes back against that idea, of framing AI development as this nation versus nation competition. And the other is all about the Quantum Formalism Academy, so QF Academy for
Okay.
short, and how they are actively working to build a more collaborative AI landscape.
Interesting. Yeah. One thing that I find really fascinating about this whole topic of collaboration is the success we've already seen with the open source approach.
Right.
I mean, have you heard of DeepSeek?
Oh, yeah. DeepSeek is like a perfect example of what we're talking about.
Okay.
They basically took existing open source technologies like PyTorch
Hmm.
and Llama, which, by the way, were developed by organizations like Meta,
Right.
and used those as a foundation for their work.
So for those who might not be familiar with the term open source,
Right.
it essentially means that the underlying code is freely available
Right.
for anyone to use, modify, and distribute.
Yeah, it's like this giant Lego set
Yeah.
where everyone can contribute bricks and build something amazing together.
That's a great analogy.
Right.
Yeah, because it allows developers to build upon each other's work instead of constantly starting from scratch.
Yeah.
So you essentially have this global team of experts
Right.
who are constantly refining and improving the technology.
Right. And the really cool thing is with DeepSeek is they didn't just stop at using open source tools. They also decided to make their own advancements open source as well.
Right, exactly. They didn't just hoard their breakthroughs.
Right.
They shared them with the world so that everyone could benefit.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really interesting about that is that DeepSeek's success, it wasn't about China winning over the US or any other country.
Right.
It was a win for the entire global AI community.
Yeah. It really challenges that whole us versus them mentality.
It does, yeah.
Right.
And in fact, the document that we mentioned earlier, it actually argues that framing AI development as this kind of competition
Right.
can actually be harmful.
Because it creates like this environment of secrecy and mistrust,
Exactly.
right? Which ultimately slows down progress.
Yeah, it's like we're all trying to run a race, but everyone's blindfolded and tripping over each other, right? We need to be working together, not against each other.
Right. Especially since we're all facing, the same challenges.
Absolutely, like ensuring that AI is used ethically and responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
These are global challenges that require global solutions.
It makes you wonder what we could achieve if everyone was openly sharing their knowledge and collaborating on these solutions, right? Like,
Right.
what kind of breakthroughs
Yeah.
could we see?
Now, one interesting thing about DeepSeek is that it omits information on certain politically sensitive topics.
Oh, okay.
And some people have pointed to this as a flaw.
Mm-hmm.
However, the document we're looking at actually presents an alternative perspective.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so what do they say about that?
Well, they argue that instead of seeing this as a failure, we should view it as an opportunity for the global community to come together, refine the model, and make it more inclusive.
So basically, rather than just criticizing from the sidelines, we should actively participate in making things better.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah, it really highlights the beauty of open source.
Mm.
It's a continuous process of improvement driven by a global community of developers.
And this actually reminds me of our other source for today, the QF Academy.
Okay.
They also seem to be all about collaboration in AI, but from a slightly different angle.
Yeah, QF Academy is doing some really fascinating work.
Right.
They offer these advanced math courses for STEM professionals.
Okay.
But their approach is quite unique.
Okay. I'm intrigued what makes it so special.
Well, they really emphasize practical application.
Okay.
They're bridging the gap between theoretical knowledge and real-world problem-solving in AI.
So it's not just about equations on a whiteboard. It's about equipping people with the skills to actually build and improve AI systems using math.
Exactly. And that's not all.
Oh, there's more.
They have this incredible microgrant initiative that I think you'll find really interesting.
Okay, tell me more. What's that all about?
Well, they dedicate 20% of all their course proceeds to fund open source research projects, with a particular focus on supporting young researchers.
So they're not just teaching people about collaborative AI, they're actively funding it.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
And what I find particularly interesting is their focus on fostering collaborations, specifically between researchers in the U.S. and China.
Okay.
They believe that bridging that gap is absolutely crucial for the future of AI development.
That's really forward-thinking. It seems like they really understand that global challenges, require global solutions, and we can achieve so much more when we work together.
Precisely. It's interesting to think about all the progress that's been made in other fields thanks to international collaboration.
Right.
I mean, take the Human Genome Project, for example.
Oh, yeah.
That was a massive undertaking that involved scientists from all over the world.
Mm-hmm. And it was a huge success.
Exactly. And it wouldn't have been possible without that level of cooperation.
Right.
And I think the same principle applies to AI.
Yeah.
We need to move beyond this idea that it's a zero-sum game where one country has to win at the expense of others.
Right.
Instead, we should be embracing the idea that we can all benefit from each other's expertise and insights.
I couldn't agree more. It's like the old saying, two heads are better than one, but on a global scale.
Yeah.
And it seems like QF Academy really gets that and is actively working to make it a reality in AI.
They're creating a platform for researchers from different backgrounds and cultures to connect, share their knowledge, and work together on projects that could have a real impact on the world.
And these microgrants, they could be the spark that ignites those collaborations.
Right.
It's amazing to think about, the potential breakthroughs that could emerge from these partnerships.
It's like planting seeds for a more collaborative and ethical AI ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
And with QF Academy dedicating a significant portion of their resources to this initiative, it's clear that they're truly committed to this vision.
It's inspiring to see an organization like that taking such a proactive approach to shaping the future of AI.
Absolutely.
They're not just talking about collaboration, they're actively fostering it.
And their plan to invite other philanthropists to contribute is brilliant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it has the potential to create this ripple effect, amplifying the impact of their microgrant program, and ultimately creating a truly global movement towards collaborative AI development.
It's interesting to think about the long-term implications of these collaborations.
Yeah.
We're not just talking about short-term research projects here. We're talking about building lasting relationships and fostering a culture of cooperation that could benefit the field of AI for generations to come.
Absolutely. And think about the impact this could have on the development of AI technologies that address some of the world's most pressing challenges.
Right.
I mean, imagine researchers from different countries working together to develop AI solutions for climate change poverty disease.
It's mind-boggling to think about the possibilities.
It is.
It's clear that we can achieve so much more when we pool our resources and work together towards a common goal.
And it's not just about the scientific advancements either. When researchers from different cultures collaborate, they bring a wider range of perspectives and ethical considerations to the table, which can help ensure that AI is developed in a way that is inclusive, equitable, and truly benefits all of humanity.
That's such an important point. We need to make sure that AI is developed with that global perspective, taking into account the needs and values of diverse communities around the world.
Absolutely, and by fostering collaborations between researchers from different countries. QF Academy is helping to create a more balanced and representative AI landscape.
It's exciting to think about the kind of future we can create for AI if we continue down this path of collaboration and shared progress.
I completely agree, and I think QF Academy is setting a great example for other organizations and individuals to follow.
This makes me wonder what other innovative approaches are out there for promoting collaboration in AI. Are there any other organizations or individuals that you find particularly inspiring in this space?
That's a great question. There are definitely some really exciting initiatives emerging out there.
But even beyond specific organizations, I think the most inspiring thing is just this growing awareness within the AI community itself that collaboration is key.
Absolutely.
We're seeing more open source projects, more international conferences, more researchers actively, seeking out collaborators from different backgrounds, different countries.
Yeah, I completely agree. It really feels like a cultural shift. And I think QF Academy is right at the forefront of that movement. And, the focus on practical application is really important too.
Right.
It's not just about theoretical advancements.
Right.
It's about using AI to solve real-world problems that are going to actually affect people's lives.
Right. And that's what I find so exciting about this whole collaborative approach to AI, is that it really does have the potential to make a real difference in the world.
Absolutely.
But I'm curious, for the average person out there listening, what does this all mean? Like, how does this shift toward collaborative AI development actually impact their lives?
That's a fantastic question. And it might seem kind of abstract at first.
Right.
But the truth is, the impact of this is going to be felt in so many ways.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. When we break down these barriers and foster collaboration, we speed up innovation. And that means we can develop better AI systems faster.
Right.
Systems that are more reliable, more efficient, and ultimately more beneficial to society as a whole.
So we could see tangible improvements in areas like healthcare, transportation, education.
Exactly.
Even how we address, big issues like climate change.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine a world where AI is helping doctors diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately.
Right.
Or where it's personalizing education. Tailoring learning plans to individual student needs, or where it's optimizing transportation systems, making them safer and more sustainable.
Wow.
I mean, these are just a few examples of the transformative potential of AI when it's developed collaboratively.
It's incredible to think about the possibilities. It really does sound like this shift toward collaboration could usher in a whole new era of AI that benefits everyone.
I believe it can. But it's important to remember that, this future depends on all of us.
Right.
It's not just about governments and big tech companies.
Right.
You as an individual also have a role to play in fostering this collaborative spirit.
That's a powerful message.
Right.
So what are some ways that individuals can actually contribute to this movement?
Well, there are a lot of ways to get involved. Supporting organizations like QF Academy is one option.
Okay.
You could also look into contributing to open source projects, even if you're not a programmer. A lot of projects need help with documentation translation or community outreach.
Right.
And, even just spreading the word about the importance of collaboration. I think that's crucial.
Yeah.
We can all be advocates for a more open and inclusive approach to AI development.
I love that. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought-provoking question to ponder. How can you contribute to a more collaborative and open AI landscape?
What a great way to end our discussion.
Yeah.
I hope this deep dive has inspired you to not only appreciate the power of collaboration, but also consider how you can be a part of shaping a future where AI is developed and used for the benefit of all humankind.
That's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the collaborative heart of AI. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep collaborating.